What is this all about? This team, this season, this coach, this opportunity. What's it all about? Is it about a championship? Well, yes, of course it is. 3 in a row, actually. But it's about so much more than that. It's about legacy. It's about history. It's about dynasty. It's about a fan base that has fallen head over heels in love with the program. No collegiate team, no professional franchise, no one in all of sports is more dominant right now than Oklahoma softball. Big 12 champs, check. Tourney champs, check. Regionals, check. Supers, check. Records, check. A spot in the championship series, check. There's only one check mark left. What is this all about? It's simple, really. This is about finishing it.
Lifted deep to left field. No way! No way! Are you kidding me, Kinsey Hansen? Lose your mind, Sooner Nation! Line drive, left field, base hit. They'll send Avery Hodge. The ball gets away in left field from Eck. It's 2-0 Sooners on a laser off the bat of Jada Coleman.
Tonight, this group of record breakers and championship chasers continues its quest on the sport's biggest stage. Will the Seminoles steal the moment? Or will the Crimson and Cream finish it? We're about to find out. It's championship time in Oklahoma.
Line to left field, falling fast. It's down. Lions scores. Here comes Torres. She'll score. Riley Boone in with a triple. It's 7-0 Sooners. Line drive, right center field, down for a hit. It's up the alley. The Sooners take the lead. It's a 2-run double from the birthday girl.
It's time for the 2023 Championship Series. It's the Oklahoma Sooners and the Florida State Seminoles. This is what it's all about. Winner take all. Here we go. Live from the softball capital of the world, USA Hall of Fame Stadium in Oklahoma City. This is Sooner Softball.
Coleman digs in. Kat Sandercock stares in. We are underway in Game 2 of the Championship Series, and at 6:38 p.m. Central Time, Sandercock throws strike 1 on what looked to be a bit of an off-speed.
And it was right down the middle.
We get our weather report here in just a bit. It's a very good one so far. No balls and a strike to Jada Coleman. Line drive, left field, but right at the left fielder, Mudge, who makes the catch, and there's one away. She hit it hard.
She hit it hard, and those were 2 pitches from Kat Sandercock that did not have much movement on them. So I don't know if it's nerves, adrenaline. I'm sure there's a lot of things going on in the circle for Sandercock. But I mean, she's been in this position before. But those 2 pitches, if that is shedding light on what's to come, she better start moving the ball.
Here's Tiare Jennings. First pitch to the right-handed hitting Sooners second baseman is a little bit low and in, ball 1. Everything that Jennings has done so far in this postseason has been absolutely fantastic for the Sooners. And she continues a historic run in her career in the Women's College World Series. Here's the 1-ball, no-strike pitch. Popped up on the infield. Easy play for the Florida State second baseman Flaherty, and there's 2 away. The Sooners off to a slow start again tonight. Last night, 3 up and 3 down. On Monday, 3 up and 3 down in the first inning. Last time they had a first inning base runner was against Tennessee.
Hey, it's all turned out well. It's all worked out to this point, but I will say that's a pretty good pitch from Sandercock. Rise ball up and in, out of the zone. So an adjustment from Coleman to Jennings as far as movement.
Haley Lee's had a tough World Series and takes ball one a little bit up, but on the season, she's been fantastic. 371 average through 61 games for the Sooners. 14 home runs, one of 5 Sooners with double-digit home runs. 51 runs batted in, which is good for 4th on the team. Here's the 1-0. That's a little bit out, 2-0. So that means we've given you all the good. We can point out that the World Series run been a little bit challenging. Haley Lee 0 for 11 so far in the Sooners' 4 previous Women's College World Series game. But I got robbed here last night.
Yes, and you feel like that was sort of the at-bat that Haley Lee needed to sort of get back in the swing. She also was right in the middle of it. I know it was a hit by pitch, but sometimes that's all you need to get right back in it.
2-0 pitch is in for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike.
But anyone who follows sports or softball or Florida State or OU, they saw Kaylee Mudge's catch in left field yesterday. It was unbelievable. And gosh, I think it fooled everybody. Fooled Haley Lee too. But good to see her put a good swing on the ball.
She's ahead on the count, 2 balls and a strike, and she lines this one hard and foul and into the stands down the right field line.
And I'll say this, it looks better. And you can just see Haley Lee taking hacks. So we've talked about the struggles that she's had here at the Women's College World Series. Her postseason has been unbelievable, but a little bit of a slow streak here. But she's putting good hacks on the ball. She's looking looser in the batter's box.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Lee. See if the Sooners can't get something going with 2 outs. The pitch way outside, ball 3. And that's the pitch that you'll chase.
And such good discipline. Curveball. And Sandercock uses this pitch so often and just takes it and runs it right on the other side of the river, so almost to the chalk of the other batter's box. And that's that chase that you see, especially with 2 strikes. So very good discipline.
3 balls and 2 strikes to Haley Lee. Sandercock rocks, fires, got her swinging. Inning over. Good work by Florida State, unfortunately, in the top half of the first inning, setting the Sooners down in order. And weather-wise, we are good to go, and our weather report is brought to you by the Trails Golf Club in Norman, where you'll experience everything you love about golf and more. Visit trailsgolf.com today. Winds gusting a bit at 13 miles an hour, but for now, it is absolutely pleasant as Alex Storako stares in and Kaylee Mudge digs in. And the first pitch is a little bit up, ball 1.
I really want to see Storako settle in quickly. I feel like kind of the story of her postseason has been not being able to settle in quick enough. And Florida State is a momentum team.
There's a ball that misses a little bit low and away, 2-0.
But Mudge, Janai Kerr, Kaylee Harding, and then Edenfield right behind that, their top 4 or 5 hitters are what makes this team go. And Jordy Ball did such a great job of keeping them in check yesterday.
2-0 pitch is hit hard down the left field line. Fair. Scooped up by Riley Boone and holding Mudge to a single. But keep an eye on Mudge now. She is dangerous over at first base. And a leadoff single by Mudge. Here's Janai Kerr.
Storako has to work ahead in the count. So that's her opportunity. Get the nerves out and then now settle in. Settle in, throw strikes, work ahead. And that's just a good piece of hitting by Mudge. And it actually, down the line, hit the third base bag. So that's a good job by Riley Boone staying on it and playing the ricochet.
Here is Janai Kerr. First pitch to the center fielder, swing and a miss. That's more like it, Alex Storako.
Everything we've heard, everything we've seen from Florida State, not just at the Women's College World Series, but all season long, has been hard, fast, short game, stealing bases, hit and run, chops. You get the feeling you're going to see something like that here.
There's a bunt, really hard to Brito. The play is to second, and she threw it into center field. Brito was a little bit too juiced on that. Jada Coleman did a good job backing it up. They had the out at first base. They could have easily had the out at second, I think, but the throw was wide, and that's the second error in this championship series on Brito. And Florida State starting fast here. Runners at first and second for Kaylee Harding.
I would expect the short game again, and I absolutely. Alyssa Brito, 100% trying to get Kaylee Mudge, even though she runs well. She had her at second base with a good throw. It was a terrible bunt by Janai Kerr. She got it down, but it was a horrible bunt.
First pitch strike to Kaylee Hardy.
It was more like a ground ball, but Alyssa Brito absolutely made the right decision. She just needs to settle down and stay within herself at third. You feel a little bit defensively that she's trying to do too much.
Agreed. Great point. No balls and a strike to Harding. Fouled it straight back and quickly. Alex Storako has jumped ahead. No balls and 2 strikes on Kaylee Harding, the 3-hole hitter. .316 average this season for Harding. 10 home runs. This is the only spot in the lineup with back-to-back hitters that have double-digit home runs this season. Katie Dack is back in the starting lineup tonight for Florida State, so we'll see. She's 10 home runs on the 11 home runs in the season at third. Ground ball to third, foul.
Good to see Storako throwing strikes. And the key, we talked about this key in the pregame. 0-2, 1-2 pitcher counts. Storako has got to throw quality, competitive pitches. Good misses that are not catching too much plate. If you're getting swings, they're defensive swings because you are in a pitcher's count. I want to see a quality 2-strike pitch.
0-2, again fouled at the plate. This is Alex Storako's first start since the California game on May 21st. She got the start, and her last just fantastic outing, May 7th against Oklahoma State, a complete game 6 hitter, where she struck out 1 and allowed just 4 hits. Sooners are struck out 4 and allowed 2 walks. The 0-2 pitch, little up. Kinsey Hansen was fired up. She thought that Harding had swung. She popped up and sounded like she said, there it is, and tried to look at the first base umpire to get the call, but they say no, ball 1.
I think Kinsey was amped up at how good the pitch was, right?
It was a great 0-2 pitch.
Yes, it was a great 0-2 pitch. And you know, the stuff we're talking about with 2 strikes with Storako, you know Kinsey Hansen is feeling the same thing.
The 1-2 pitch is hit to Brito, makes the catch on that little looper. There's 1 away. Since that Oklahoma State game, just real quick, DJ, her last few starts have not gone all that well, even though she was really good against Iowa State. 3 innings, struck out 3, but had about, I think you described it, a 15-pitch lapse where she walked a couple of hitters. Went 2 2/3 in the start against California, but allowed 5 hits and 3 runs. But since then, the opportunities she's given has been okay. Had a really rough outing against Clemson. Here's the first pitch to Michaela Edenfield. Now more than anything, you want to see her throw strikes.
I want to see her throw strikes, and I feel like part of Storako getting the ball to start this game is we have seen Storako look a little shaky coming out of the bullpen. And Nicole May, for the most part, has been pretty good out of the bullpen.
A little I didn't mean to check swing on the 1-0, and it's fouled back, a ball and a strike. That's a great point.
And we all know Jordy Ball, she's throwing the best she's thrown all season right now. Starting the game or out of the bullpen, it doesn't matter. But I feel like part of seeing Storako is giving her the best opportunity to be successful and be comfortable.
1 ball and 1 strike. First and second for Florida State. 1 out in a scoreless game. Swing and a miss on a dirty off-speed. Strike 2.
That was filthy. If Storako can keep that pitch through the zone and pull it out of her pocket like that, she's going to be in good shape. Edenfield swung out of her shoes.
Sooner fans stand as the 1-2 pitch just missed on the inside edge. Just missed. You heard the reaction of oohs and ahs in the background. It was warranted.
That's a good pitch. It was inside, but I'll be curious to see come about the 3rd or 4th inning of if that pitch is a strike.
2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch from Storako grounded back to Alex. Bobbles it, picks it up. Will get the sure out at first. I think for a moment she thought about third, and when she did, she looked to second, and the ball popped out of her glove, but she recovered in time to get Edenfield, and there's 2 away for Devin Flaherty, and Alex Storako is a couple pitches away from potentially getting out of this tough bottom half of the first inning.
Fielding her position, and I will say this, I think before Storako bobbled the ball, she was going for Mudge at third base. I really think she was. I mean, that ball was hit hard. She had a lead runner, but you've got two. Get out of an inning.
First pitch, hard hit to Jennings, plays it off. A hop, throws to first, inning over. Florida State hit a couple balls hard off Alex Duraco, but the Sooner D stands up after the error on the bunt attempt by Kerr. Looking at this spot in the lineup for the Sooners, DJ Sanchez, and I feel like you can put a big red circle around Brito and Hansen and pick either one. They've been so good in this Women's College World Series as your player to watch, period, tonight.
I agree. I think let's roll with Brito. She's about to lead off the second inning, coming off of an uncharacteristic throwing error, and we've seen her be a little shaky defensively. Let's make her our player to watch and see if she can't answer back with the bat.
Alyssa Brito, our player to watch, brought to you by Love's Travel Stops. Love's Travel Stops, the heart of the highway. Brito in the Women's College World Series was 3 for 9, 2 runs scored, has an RBI. Here last night went 2 for 2 with a run scored and an RBI, and walked. Scoreless game, top of the second inning. Back to work for Kat Sandercock. First pitch, a little bit out, ball 1. Now every time I look at Kinsey Hansen, I imagine her saying bro over and over to Coach Gasso after our pregame conversation.
I want to know if Coach replied using the word bro back at any point.
1 ball and no strikes. Sandercock delivers. Brito swings through it for strike 1. Pretty good juice on that, 66 miles an hour.
That was a hack. That's that pitch. That's that curveball that you see get that little just last bite at the end. And you think you're on it, and then all of a sudden it breaks about another inch and you swing and miss. So it's going to be so important just to track that pitch and focus on taking it the other way.
1 ball and 1 strike. Brito, soft grounder towards short. Up with it is Muffley. Throws not in time. Not in time. It's a leadoff infield single on a slow roller to the left side by Alyssa Brito.
That'll do. Just finding a way to use the dirt. It's amazing the things you can do if you keep the ball out of the air. Make defense, make plays, and that would have been a tough one for Muffley to make and come up with, but that's all you need.
Here's Kinsey Hansen, the hottest hitting Sooner without question in the Women's College World Series. The hottest hitting Sooner in the postseason, as the first pitch to the right-handed hitting catcher is headed home, and it's bounced foul.
Coach Gasso called her a juggernaut.
What a line, right?
Well, and she is right now. I mean, you watch her, and she's always had that demeanor to her when she steps in the box. I feel like we've said this forever, Blankets. You feel like something huge is about to happen. And she usually delivers.
Five for 12 in the Women's College World Series. Calls for time and gets it. 5 for 12 with 2 runs scored. 4 runs batted in and a home run. It's been a good Women's College World Series for Hansen. Sooners have the leadoff runner aboard after an infield single by Alyssa Brito. Here's the 0-1 to Hansen, a little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Florida State fans didn't like that call.
It's a good take. That's that same pitch that we saw Duraco throw. It's an inside pitch. It's on the inner part of the plate. It's a little bit off the plate, and as of right now, it does not look like home plate umpire Robbie Guess is going to give that pitch on the inner part. Doesn't mean you don't throw it. Keep throwing it there, especially with 2 strikes.
1 ball, 1 strike. Could Brito be on the move here? She isn't, as ball 2 misses low. Hansen was 2 for 4 here last night with 2 runs batted in and a run scored. She's 4 for 8 in the last 2 games. And the only game that she doesn't have a hit in the NCAA tournament was the first game against Stanford, and she turned around and went 2 for 4 against them in the next game. That's what you call bouncing back. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Sandercock. Bounced slowly towards the left side and foul.
One thing that Catherine Sandercock does so well is the deception between her screwball and her curveball. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not a big screwball fan, because unless you've got one that really breaks in on people's hands, it's just an inside fastball so many times. But Cat Sandercock has a good one, but along with it, she throws her drop ball and she throws it inside. And that drop ball looks like a screwball until the very last minute. So that pitch that we're seeing being fouled off is an inside drop that a lot of these Sooners are tracking.
2-2 is low, ball 3.
But they're tracking it as a strike.
That's a ball, too, by the way.
Absolutely. So if they can zone off that drop ball and recognize it, it's going to be a short day for Sandercock, because that's where she lives.
Hansen asks for time as she digs back in. Very patient, almost stalking the plate.
It feels deliberate. The pace she's working, it feels deliberate.
Here's the 3-2 pitch as Cat Sandercock brings it home, swings and pops it up on the infield. What's Brito doing? Brito took off for second base and didn't realize it was a pop-up caught by Sandercock, and she's forced out at first base on the flyout. Brito still doesn't know what happened, and she'll trot back to the bag. It's a double play. Obviously, the steal was on there, or at least she was going on the 3-2, and when Hansen popped it up, Brito, I guess, never realized what had happened.
And still didn't, even after the play was done. And even if I look at I think it was a run and hit. I'm not sure it was a hit and run, but she got the steal. Even then, you still, anytime you're taking off and you know that your hitter still has the green light, you've got to peek.
First pitch to Erickson is a strike. That's a tough start for Alyssa Brito.
She just looks a little rattled. I mean, she just needs to refocus. I really get the feeling from Alyssa Brito that she's pressing a little bit. You can see it.
A no ball, 1 strike count to Jocelyn Erickson, getting her first start since the Clemson Super Regionals, and she swings through a rise ball for strike 2. She is 0 for her last 8 at the plate. 0 for her last 7, sorry. Only 0 for 1 last 8. Great at bats.
She's had some really good at bats.
She's going to be a little bit more deliberate here.
And you can really see these Sooner hitters trying to get Sandercock out of her pace a little bit, because she gets the ball back, she gets back on the rubber pretty quickly.
The 0-2 bounced foul down the third base line.
And we saw it in Kinsey Hansen's at bat. Just being very, I'm going to get in the box, but if you make me stand here too long, I'm going to call time. Taking her time getting back into the box, and we see Erickson doing it here as well. So kind of the game within the game a little bit, and not letting Sandercock control how quickly this game moves.
No balls and 2 strikes. In a scoreless game in the top of the second, the pitch to Erickson, line drive foul down the left side. Inning started with some promise for the Sooners after the infield single by Alyssa Brito, but on the pop out by Kinsey Hansen, Brito didn't realize that it was a pop out on the infield and got doubled off at first base. So there's 2 away for Jocelyn Erickson, but she's behind 0-2 here.
And those are the little things, again, just mistakes that we don't typically see from this team. But, I mean, that's elementary. You got to peek.
0-2 looks low and is low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Erickson does have a multi-hit game in the postseason. Went 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored in the win over Cal. That was also the game where she had her last hit. Had a good series against Oklahoma State, where she went 3 for 8, including a 2 for 3 Saturday game. A Ball and 2 strikes here to Erickson. The pitch, bounced foul down the first baseline as Hannah Sparks does a little dance.
I will say, regardless of outcomes for Jocelyn Erickson, and that's why she got the start here tonight. It's not always about what the stat line reads. Jocelyn Erickson has been having some really good at-bats, coming off the bench in pinch hit situations, and we've seen it here at the Women's College World Series. That's why she got the nod today.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not always about the result. And we hear this team talk about that a lot, and you can see it in Jocelyn Erickson getting rewarded with the start.
1 ball, 2 strikes to the Sooner freshman. Sandercock rocks, fires, misses outside 2-2. If you're interested in pitch counts this early in the game, I think I can say I'm your guy. That is 26 now total pitches for Sandercock, 7 in this at-bat.
Very reminiscent of what the Sooners tried to do to Kennedy. Throw a lot of pitches, see a lot of pitches, and wear her down slowly but surely.
Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Got her. 8-pitch at bat. And Sandercock wins the battle with her second strikeout of the game. Both strikeouts have ended in innings. Game as we go to the bottom of the second inning. Mac Leonard, left-handed hitting first baseman, will lead things off for Florida State. Alex Storako misses low, ball 1. I know it's early, and we're only 18 pitches into Alex Storako's start. How are you feeling about the way she looks so far?
I like the way that she responded in a tough situation. Runners on first and second, nobody out to start the game, an error defensively.
There's a good off-speed that falls in for strike 1.
But right on cue, I feel like what's going to be such a key in this game for Storako is the off-speed. She's thrown it a lot so far. She's brought it out early, which we don't always see her do. But I do want to see her come out into counts closer to the plate.
Pop up down the right field line. Hooking foul.
There's a lot of the at-bats we've seen so far. She's gotten behind 1-0, 2-0 from time to time. So I really like seeing her here 1-2. Conversion pitch here. 2 strikes, set up something, or get Mac Leonard chasing somewhere out of the zone.
Mac Leonard, by the way, just a .266 average on the season. The 1-2 pitch misses high.
It's a pretty good spot.
In the postseason, there's not really someone on this Florida State roster that you look at and necessarily has jaw-dropping numbers, but there are some concerning trends for Lonnie Alameda. The 2-2 looped on the infield, racing in is Grace Lyons to make the catch, and there's 1 away.
That's the 2-strike pitch that I'm looking for. You even saw Mac Leonard do a check swing, defensive swing. That pitch was nowhere near the zone. The rise ball up in her eyes. It's a great 2-strike pitch from Storako.
Here is Hallie Waycaser. Had a homer here on Monday. First pitch is lined towards the gap in left center field, and racing over to make the catch is Riley Boone, and there's 2 away. Boone chanted throughout Oklahoma City. Let's pause 10 seconds for station ID. This is Oklahoma Sooner softball from Learfield.
KRXO-FM and KRXO HD Oklahoma City, a product of Tyler Media, your flagship station for Oklahoma Sooner sports. 107.7, The Franchise.
This is just the 4th at-bat for Katie Dack of the Women's College World Series in the bottom of the second inning. Scoreless game. First pitch by Dack, swing and a miss.
I want to go back to the line drive to Riley Boone for just a second. She was positioned perfectly. She's playing a little bit closer to the line. That's a potential double in the gap unless Jada Coleman picks it up and throws her out at second. But positioned perfectly. The
0-1 pitch is in for a strike. 0-2. I think we can give some credit to a member of the DJ Sanchez coaching tree on that one. Ryan Wondrasik, who has just been a fantastic addition to this staff and this scouting and research. He has been nails when it comes to helping put together defensive game plans for the Sooners. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Dack. Swing and a miss! Alex Storako rips that face mask off, and she's fired up. A chest bump from her roommate, Kinsey Hansen. How about this?
This is the Storako we saw February, March, and April.
The Lightning have stayed away, and it looks like we're set for a gorgeous, gorgeous night here in OKC.
It's beautiful, and this place is packed. There is not an empty seat in the house. It's just, you cannot set up a scene and set up a stadium any better than this tonight. It's amazing.
All right, here's Sydney Sanders. Been a bit of a struggle for Sid over the last few games. Digs in from the right side of the plate against Kat Sandercock in a scoreless games. Sid just 1 for 8 in the Women's College World Series, has scored a run, and takes the first pitch low for ball 1.
I do want to see Sydney Sanders be a little more aggressive at the plate. I feel like she's always patient, which is good to see, and she's drawn some good walks, but she's also let some pitches go by that she is set up to drive. I want to see her right now, 1-0 count, if it's there, unload, be aggressive.
Well, here's the pitch, and she takes ball 2 low. She's been very patient, you're right. I mean, she had been one of the, when she plays, more effective walk drawers. She's drawn 3 so far in the Women's College World Series.
And I love it, and that's part of what makes Sydney Sanders so good as a hitter is her patience. But right here, 2-0 count, this is where she's let some pitches go by. So if it is something that's sweet, she needs to unload.
The 2-0 pitch is low and in ball 3. Kat Sandercock, she's working very fast tonight, which I think after last night we're all very fine with. This is her second start of the Women's College World Series. Last night was the only game that she hadn't appeared in for Florida State. 13 2/3 of an inning, has allowed 11 hits, struck out 9 and walked just 3. She is 2-0 with a .51 ERA in the Women's College World Series. 3-0 is a 4-pitch walk to Sydney Sanders.
That pitch, there are some Florida State fans who are unhappy, but that pitch has not been a strike all night. It's inside. It's flat out inside. And Sydney Sanders, as I'm sitting up here saying I want her to be more aggressive, but you've got to be controlled aggressive, right? Controlled aggression, but good job drawing the leadoff walk.
Here's G3. Grace was 0 for 1 with a sac bunt and a walk last night. They are playing Grace straight up, though. In a little tight at third is Harding. Well, as is Leonard over at first. Lyons lays down a bunt too hard and foul down the third baseline for strike 1.
Love the fact that we're seeing some short game here. This game is in the third, starting to get deeper. I mean, you're almost to the midway point in the game. You've got to find a way to push runs across, and if that means you have to sacrifice outs, you have to sacrifice outs. But if Grace has gotten the signal, I saw Coach pull the card out, if she's gotten the signal for the sack again, you've got to execute.
The 0-1 pitch, Sandercock. It is a bunt, and she bunts it foul. And you can see the frustration from up here in the body language of Grace Lyons after failing to get that bunt down.
Well, those are the little things that we talk about so often that makes this team so solid. Base running, which we've seen a miscue this evening. Execution of the short game, sacrifice bunts, which now we're in a 2-strike count. So Grace needs to do something to move Sydney Sanders. A chop or something on the ground to find a way to get the job done.
324 average on the season for Grace. She does have 8 home runs, and she swings. Did she make it 9? Deep to left center field. It'll hit off the base of the wall. Sanders is forced to stay at second. She had to hold up to see if Mudge made the play, and Grace Lyons deposited one on the base of the left center field wall.
0-2 count. You can see the frustration in Grace Lyons knowing that she didn't get her job done with the sacrifice, but that's all right. Don't bunt. I'll just hit a single in the gap off the wall.
The way Mudge attacked it, she thought it might get out of here. She kind of started trotting towards it, and then Grace Lyons even put her finger up. She thought for a moment off the bat it might be gone. But that thing literally hit right off the base of the wall, and Mudge got it back in quickly. And here's Riley Boone. Oh, that 7, 8, 9 spot in the lineup keeps cooking for the Sooners.
Makes them so tough. When the bottom half of your lineup is your table setter, gosh, good luck. But Grace Lyons went down and got the drop ball. Big time.
It's a bunt by Boone. If it stays fair, it's trouble. It's rolling down the line, and it's fair! Harding tried to let it roll foul, and it just took a right turn to stay in play, and the bases are loaded for Jada Coleman. Listen to the chance of Boone.
And here come the Sooners, and talk about applying pressure and suffocating a defense. And here's the thing, Kaylee Harding made the right call because Riley Boone was going to be safe. It was a gorgeous bunt, and it hit the chalk and just rolled right back in.
Lonnie Alameda is out to chat with Kat Sandercock, get some of these early check-ins taken care of. As always, thanks to Judy, who is tuning in Maui today. Not too bad. Therese down in Austin. Our buddy Mark Worley, always in Ohio. Doug Hamilton is dodging storms in Hockley, Texas tonight. The Shadid crew is tuned in from Florida. The boss man, the Bry man, Brian Vineyard in Weatherford, Texas tonight. Stephen York and his wife are tuned in this evening. And I wanted to add one very special shout out. Jack May is Nicole May's younger brother. He is celebrating his 17th birthday in his first ever trip to the championship series. Happy birthday, Jack. Meetings are over. Here we go. Bases loaded, nobody out. Here's Jada Coleman.
Who lives for this moment right now? Lives for this moment.
Coleman flied out to left. Her last time up, the pitch. Ooh, she had a cut and fouled it straight back. Strike one.
What I love so much about Riley Boone's at bat, pitch one, laying down a bunt, doing her job, but it was a beauty, man. And Kaylee Harding, even if she had picked it up, Riley Boone was going to beat it out for a single anyway. So you may as well try to ride it out and see if you can get lucky with a spin.
.415 average on the season for Jada. Big 12 Player of the Year. The 8, 9, and 1 spots in this lineup continue to thrive. Here's the 0-1. Popped up behind home plate, but that's going to get out of play. And Jada quickly behind on the count. No balls and 2 strikes.
You can feel Florida State, their fans are on their feet. OU fans are on their feet. I think this whole stadium's on their feet. But you can just feel that this is almost like a turning point in this game.
Tiare Jennings waits on deck. Sanders at third, Lyons at second, Boone over at first. The Florida State infield is in. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Time called for and granted by Jada Coleman. Time called for by Jada Coleman and granted by Robbie Guest, our home plate umpire.
Trying to get Sandercock out of her groove. It's part of the game plan.
Here's the 0-2 pitch to the Sooner center fielder. Headed home. Ooh, just missed low and in. That was a really good pitch on 0-2.
It's a really good pitch and a really good take. And that inside corner just off the plate, it has not been a strike, and it doesn't look like it's going to be called a strike at any point. But really good discipline because that was a drop ball. And that's the pitch that we have seen some of these Sooner hitters chase.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Sacks juiced in a scoreless game. Top of the 3rd inning. The pitch to Coleman. Pop foul again behind home plate.
Sandercock's thrown a lot of pitches. Pushing 40.
Right, she's up to 39. Jada Coleman is now in charge of retrieving the foul ball that rolled all the way down. Her energy is contagious. Her confidence is exciting.
Yep.
You see someone that knows they want to be up in this kind of moment and embraces it. Let's see what Jada can do with it. Good v good here. The 1-2 pitch up and in. Now we've seen the Sooners get called for swinging on a couple of those, but So far, they're not going to check with either umpire.
Jada's laughing. And here's the thing about that. Her hands are so quiet. So many times, and we see it from hitters in the OU lineup, Florida State. Doesn't matter who you're facing. We've seen it here a ton at the Women's College World Series of check swings. But her hands are so quiet. That wasn't even close, when a lot of times you'll see that and get the strike call because those hands are moving so much with the knob of the bat.
Here's the 2-2 to Coleman. Bounce to the right side. Leonard has it. They'll go home for the force out. No play anywhere else. The Florida State infield was in. That was a nice play by Mac Leonard, and they force out Sanders at home. But the bases stay loaded with one out. And here's T.R.A. Jennings, who lined out to second over where Devin Flaherty is in the top half of the first inning, getting an opportunity here in the top half of the third. Patty Gasso chatting at third with her captain, Grace Lyons. So Lyons at third, Boone at second, Coleman at first. That infield stays in.
Keep seeing a lot of pitches, and I like the aggression here. We saw Jada Coleman swing first pitch.
There's a rise well out of the zone for ball one.
And you can expect Sandercock to go back to that drop ball, changing the eyes up, maybe looking at a little bit of Stanford film, because Jennings struggled on the rise ball. But I would expect to see something down, trying to force Jennings to hit a ground ball just like Jada Coleman.
Jennings started the party on Saturday against Tennessee. A 3-run home run. Here's the pitch. That's in for a strike. A ball and a strike. Up to 42 pitches now for Kat Sandercock. We're through 2 1/3.
That's one of the first pitches on the inside corner to a righty or a lefty that we've seen called for a strike. So I feel like we've seen that exact same pitch be called a ball a lot in this game. So I like T.R.A. Jennings taking that pitch because it hasn't been a strike.
1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch to Jennings. Little looper towards short. Off a hop. Muffley makes the play, throws home, and gets Lyons. And now Kat Sandercock is a pitch away from getting out of this jam after a couple of fielders' choices have cut down runners at the plate. And I'm a little bit surprised that Muffley decided to come home with it instead of trying to turn 2, but that's a respect for the speed of T.R.A. Jennings.
Yeah, I think the opportunity would have been there had that ball been hit a little bit harder. You saw Jennings get jammed a little bit, and Muffley was already shaded in. So I'm not sure they would have had Jennings at first, but I'm kind of with you. The opportunity could have been there, but when you're not putting runs on the board, can't give any away.
Haley Lee struck out her last time up and rips one to left field, falling fast, but Mudge comes in to make the catch. And the Sooners stranded, the bases loaded. St. Dub, it's not great body language, not great energy quite yet from either one of these teams. And that's odd to see, especially from the Sooner team.
Yeah, and we're seeing the celebrations, right? Just like we always have. We saw it in that inning from Lyons and Boone, as they got something rolling. But I don't feel like we're seeing a ton of energy from either side, especially when I see the teams out on defense. It just feels, you get the feeling from both sides that they're almost just kind of sitting back and waiting for something to happen. The big hit.
First pitch to Josie Muffley, the 9-hole hitter, misses up and away, ball 1.
But that big swing and momentum, I feel like both teams are just sitting and waiting for it to happen instead of taking it and attacking it.
1 ball and no strikes. Scoreless game, bottom of the third. Staranko misses with a 1-0 and falls behind on Muffley. 2 balls and no strikes. Josie hitting just .261 on the season for Florida State. And in the Women's College World Series, she's just 2 for 9. Don't walk her. And there's ball 3.
And it's not close. And as I said it, with bases loaded and Jada Coleman at the plate, a turning point. This is another turning point in this game. The momentum is in Florida State's dugout. They just got out of a bases loaded jam facing the toughest part of the Sooner lineup. Go after Muffley in the 9-hole.
3-0, not even close, ball 4. Did we mention that between innings, Nicole May went down to the pen and has started to get loosened up for the Sooners? Don't think she's quite ready yet, but there is some activity. Mac Leonard is heading down to the Florida State pen. We saw Florida State use that game plan against Oklahoma when they played in March, where Sandercock started and Sooners started to hit her hard after a couple of innings, scored a run, and then they started going through their bullpen, and Sandercock eventually re-entered. OU won that game. But in this instance, the Sooners have not been able to push a run across despite some great opportunities. And the first pitch is a strike to the leadoff hitter, Kaylee Mudge, who has one Florida State hits. 3 for the Sooners, 1 for Florida State. It was a leadoff single right down the third base line. And it's a tough spot for Brito, DJ, because she's drawn in.
Expecting some short game, rightfully so.
0-1 is in for a strike, and quickly Storako works ahead of the count now. No balls and 2 strikes after a 4-pitch walk to Josie Muffley, who, by the way, is 12 for 14 on stolen base opportunities this year.
Good to see Storako get back in the zone, because that 4-pitch walk to Muffley, none of those pitches were close. Especially the last 2 were way out of the zone.
There's a good 0-2 pitch that missed a little low, but I don't think Storako liked it. She kind of patted her chest. It's on me.
It was a miss. That pitch was supposed to be up, and it was down and out. Those are things that you track too, right? So even though the pitch is a ball and to the blind eye you don't think much of it, nothing happens, it's still a big miss.
There's a bouncer to third, to second for 1. That's all they'll get. That's all they'll get. Good throw by Brito. Remember in the first inning, a play like that, she launched it out into center field. So 1 away, and they'll trade Josie Muffley, who was 12 for 14 on stolen bases this season, for Kaylee Mudge, who was 19 of 25.
Can I just say that all the talk, and we heard Coach Gasso talk about it again today, about how Florida State runs and uses the short game and tries to chop and do all these things. I feel like this is a team that is a little bit outside of how they approach things as well.
Foul ball back to us. Oh, so close. So close.
We should have dove.
One of these days, I haven't been able to check with USA Softball to see just how sturdy this netting is.
This is our opportunity because the net's here.
Yeah, I mean, the net's right here in front of us, but knowing my luck,
I'll just roll down and Hanson.
I'd roll down like the softball. Hanson can take care of me. Be great. Kerr, her last time up, reached on that error. She lines 1 past the diving Grace Lyons into left field. Florida State has its second hit of the game, and they've now put runners at first and second with 1 out for Kaylee Harding. The 1-2 hitters in the Florida State lineup are 2 for 4 so far, but have reached base both times. Florida State's third base coach, Travis Wilson, went over and chatted with Lonnie Alameda and Troy Cameron on the top step of the Florida State dugout, see if something might be in play here.
I feel like, we saw Kaylee Harding in this exact same spot.
And she hits 1 deep to center field. Coleman went up and took it away again. Jada Coleman did it again. She took away a 3-run home run from Kaylee Harding. Timed it, snagged it, stole it. She is the greatest show on dirt, and her name is Jada Coleman. Are you kidding me right now, Jada? 2 away.
And it was so routine. Jada Coleman tracked that back and waited and waited and waited to time it. That was not I just pulled that out of my hat and made a catch. It was routinely planned in the way that she approached the ball, which makes it even more impressive. Unbelievable.
Jen Rocha is going to come out and chat with her pitcher. Patty Gasso is going to bring the infield together. There's been 2 incredible robberies in this championship series. Kaylee Mudge took away a walk-off last night from Haley Lee, and Jada Coleman just went over the fence and took away a 3-run home run from Kaylee Harding, and there's 2 away. And Jen Rocha is being very, very lengthy in this convo.
Storako hasn't looked great this inning. Can I Can we also just talk about the fact that Kaylee Mudge, who has 19 stolen bases on the season, didn't even attempt to tag when Jada Coleman caught the ball at the wall? She went back to the bag, and usually you would see someone like Mudge take off and get to third, and she didn't even attempt it. It was a no. Never mind.
All the meetings are over. And here comes Michaela Edenfield, who has that same power. First pitch, drops in for a strike. By the way, Kaylee Harding is going to be happy to be done with Jada Coleman. Coleman threw her out from the wall last night and then took a 3-run home run away from her on a ball that should have left this yard if any normal human was in center field, but that's Jada Coleman. There's a grounder to third. Brito scoops it, takes it to the bag, inning over. Oh, the Sooners escape thanks to the athleticism of Jada Coleman. Here's Alyssa Brito, singled her last time up. An infield single, one of the 3 Sooner hits, and swings through the first pitch from Sandercock for strike 1.
Starting to see Sandercock use the rise a little bit more. She's been living with that drop and throwing the screwball and then going to the drop, both on the inside part of the plate. Starting to see her open counts with rise balls, so you get the feeling that Florida State in their pitch calling is expecting the Sooners to come out more aggressive the second time through the lineup.
No balls and a strike. Pop foul down the right side, and that's going to get a couple rows up into the stands. Nice catch by a fan. I like the catch and then the holding up of the softball to make sure everyone knows you got it. Well done, friend. Well done.
That's also the where's the camera.
Where's the camera?
Right? That's the where's the camera.
I caught that ball. Give me my credit.
Rightfully so.
No balls and 2 strikes to Alyssa Brito in a scoreless game. She pops this one foul down the right side as well. This is a game that was maybe a little bit low on some juice, a little bit low on energy, but Jada Coleman just decided, all right, I got this. Let's go. And electrified USA Softball Hall of Fame Stadium. Here's a no ball, 2-strike pitch to the Sooner third baseman. Sandercock rocks and fires. Line drive, left field line, foul.
I keep replaying Jada Coleman catching what would have been a 3-run bomb. And I'm going to continue to watch the replay over and over because she went after that with the intent of robbing it. She set herself up to make the play on something that was supposed to leave the yard. It's awesome. That makes it even more impressive to me.
And that it would have been a 3-zip game, and you're climbing out a hole when you've struggled a bit here offensively against Kat Sandercock through 3. The 0-2 pitch, slow roller again towards third. That stayed fair somehow. Nice play by Harding, who throws and gets her.
We saw Brito find a way to take that same pitch and just muscle it, find enough area to stretch it into a single in her last at-bat. Same pitch, same outcome, but wasn't able to get it into the 5-6 hole.
Here's Kinsey Hansen. Last time up, kind of a weird play where Hansen popped out to the circle, and Alyssa Brito didn't realize she had popped out and was taken off for second base. It was wild. Ended up getting forced out at second base, or excuse me, forced out back at first base. Hansen takes strike 1 on a pitch that looks a little low and in.
I said it back in the first that I was curious to see if that inside corner was going to turn into a strike. It hasn't been a strike, and now it is. And people get so caught up in balls and strikes for pitchers, but it's even more of an issue when, as a hitter, you've gone 3 innings now into the 4th, and you're taking that pitch because it's not a strike, and now all of a sudden it is.
That pitch dropped and caught the bottom edge of the strike zone. 55 miles an hour, strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes on Hansen.
looks dirty. And you can just see Kinsey Hansen kind of gave the tip of the hat. It's like, fooled, throw me something else. Let's do it again.
You can hear the Florida State fans, let's go Noles, let's go Noles. 0-2, bounce towards short. Waiting on the big hop is Muffley, throws and gets Hansen by a step. And there's quickly 2 away. Since loading up the bases with nobody out in the 3rd inning, Sandercock has now retired 5 straight Sooners. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in the lineup. Here's Jocelyn Erickson.
In that moment in the game when you almost feel the Sooners are going, all right, they're going to adjust and figure her out, starting to see Sandercock change up what she's doing a little bit. And we've seen her mix in rise ball. That was a drop ball outside when she's been really hammering the inner part of the plate and getting Kinsey Hansen to reach. So as the Sooners, we're so used to seeing adjusting offensively, we're seeing Sandercock adjusting what she's doing as well.
And swing and a miss, good looking cut. But nowhere close to Erickson, who swung through the first pitch there and struck out back in the 2nd inning. Scoreless game as we move to the 4th. Not quite nerve-wracking, gut-wrenching time yet, but we're getting close. Same spot we were last night. The 0-1 misses low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, and you feel as I'm looking at this game, at least, the Sooners have had opportunities. They have, and they've squandered them with a couple mistakes and then just not being able to get that timely hit. And as the game goes on, it feels like for both sides, it's going to be who can get the timely hit. That's what pitchers' duels are all about.
A 1 ball, 1 strike pitch to Erickson. Bounced foul down the right side. Had an 8-pitch at bat that came up empty for Erickson with that strikeout in the 2nd. But she's still looking for her first hit in the Women's College World Series. So far, she is 0 for 5 in opportunities.
I'll keep saying it. She's still putting good swings on the ball. I mean, she truly is. And you also got to think about, too, we're at the point in the season where you start looking forward. Just the experience for the freshmen.
Next pitch will be the 57th for Kat Sandercock. Winds with a 1-2, brings it home and misses high 2-2. On this postseason run, which started, and these numbers are specifically for the NCAA tournaments. They don't include the Big 12 tournament. But Erickson is 2 of 10 now, but has scored 3 runs. The strikeout in the 2nd inning was only her 2nd strikeout so far the postseason. So there is that. She's putting the ball in play. 2-2 from Sandercock. Until now, swing and a miss, inning over. That's 2 strikeouts for Erickson. And again, since loading the bases with nobody out in the 3rd inning, that's 6 straight retired by Florida State starter Kat Sandercock. We out at the bottom of the 4th inning. We'll see who's in the circle for the Sooners. Oklahoma and Florida State are scoreless. We're going to go back to Alex Storako here. Does this surprise you at all?
A little. I know we've seen Nicole May working in the pen. We've seen Jordy Ball, who is still working in the pen a little bit. Storako didn't have a good inning.
First pitch to Devin Flaherty is in for a strike.
But with all that said, she's given up 3 hits and hanging zeros. So it's, or excuse me, 2 hits. But the thing that you really look at as you're calling pitches and as games get deeper is, what do the outs look like? And so far, as that pitch misses up for ball 1, so far in the 2nd time through this lineup, you're starting to see the Seminoles square the ball up more, even if they're not going down as hits in the scorebook.
Flaherty, her last time up, grounded out to 2nd. That ended the Florida State threat in the 1st, and now she takes the 1-1 right down the middle. Ball and 2 strikes. That was 62 miles an hour. Regardless of how it looks, right, with a couple of scoring opportunities, a fantastic play by Jada Coleman, we're still scoreless. This has been a defensive/pitcher's duel as the 1-2 pitch misses low and away, 2-2.
And you feel like both teams offensively are looking at missed opportunities so far in this game, because we've seen it on both sides. One robbed opportunity from Jada Coleman robbing the bomb in dead center field.
The 2-2 up high 3. And Coach Venables, Toby Rowland sent this to me. Coach Venables just tweeted out better ball skills than at Billy Bowman with a shot of Jada Coleman going up over the fence and making the catch.
He'd probably agree. At least today.
Billy's phone's going to be blowing up. He's here tonight. 3-2, grounded right side. Nice play by Sanders. The race to the bag, won by Sid. Ball bounced in front of the plate and then shot up. Made it an easy play where Sanders was charging anyway. That drops Flaherty to 0 for 2 with the ground out to first. And here's Mac Leonard.
Sydney Sanders has been so good defensively. We've talked so much about what she does at the plate and, you know, drawing walks, as we've seen her do in this Women's College World Series. But defensively, she has just really been solid and just made plays and made them quietly and made them look smooth.
Mac Leonard takes the. This isn't always sunny. Mac Leonard takes the first pitch high for ball 1. Leonard popped out to short her last time up. Her overall average on the season is right at 264, and she has a little I didn't mean to check swing that rolls foul down the third base line. That'd be Frank Reynolds, Mac, Dennis Reynolds, and Sweet D. So sorry, Mac. I've called Mac Leonard to Mac Wilson for some reason all weekend long.
I think I heard a Watson at some point.
And there was Mac Watson was in there. Mac Leonard has me shook, and I don't know why, all weekend long. It's been the whole weekend. The 1-1 is a little bit low, 2-1. And it's been terrible because I did the Florida State games for Westwood 1, and it was fine. But as soon as it came to playing OU, she became every single Mac on the planet but Mac Leonard. But
got to perform when the lights are on.
Here we are. I know. Time to step up. Leonard does have 5 home runs on the season as she takes strike 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes. But we mentioned the numbers for Florida State aren't numbers that will wow you as far as what they've done in the postseason. Mac Leonard is now just 2 for 29 in the NCAA tournament.
And she looks uncomfortable against Stracco. That pop-up back in the second was a check swing. The foul ball that she had off Stracco has also been a check swing in this at-bat.
There's a ground ball foul down the first base line. Just barely. That got into the corner.
And that almost, it hooked her on the bag. Makes you hold your breath for a second because it's one of those you're going, did that hit right behind the bag? I was nervous there for a minute.
Leonard, by the way, is in her final season of eligibility. Transfer to Florida State as the 2-2 pitch is hit pretty deep to right field at the wall. It is gone. Mac Leonard has been struggling in this postseason, and she just changed it all with a smooth swing that got all of that one and left the yard for her first home run of the NCAA tournament.
And it was an off-speed pitch. And Mac Leonard has looked uncomfortable in the box, and she still did not put a really nice swing on that pitch either. It was off-speed, and she just flat out caught it out front, didn't even finish her swing, and just, I'm going to say accidentally barreled it up, really, because it was not a pretty swing, and she was caught out front.
It's her first home run since April 22nd. Here's Hallie Waycaser, first pitch in for a strike.
Beauty of all this, Sooners got to get on the board anyway. One run doesn't hurt much. So if they're going to leave the yard, at least they're doing it without anyone on base. You've got to put runs on the board against Sandercock regardless.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's up high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, here's what'll be interesting. Kinsey Hansen steps out, barking words of encouragement towards Stracco. Here's what's interesting now. If you're Patty Gasso, what do you do?
I think it depends on what the top of, well, number one, you got to get out of this inning as Stracco, especially going through the 7-8-9 part of this lineup.
There's a strike, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
But I think some of it depends on what the top of the fifth for the Sooners look like. I think if they get on the board, we see Jordy Ball. No question. It looks questionable still. We may see Nicole May. But I think that since this game is getting deep, Jordy Ball is probably where it's going.
1-2 is low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1-0 Florida State. The Seminoles strike first. Nothing has been jaw-dropping or, well, outside of a catch by Jada Coleman that took away a 3-run home run. But in either team's attack really so far, the 2-2 is hit hard but foul down the third base line.
It's felt very anticlimactic, I guess. And not that either team is playing poorly. They're not. Not that pitchers are throwing poorly. They're not. But you almost, I think not seeing timely hitting fuels that a little bit. But, you know, we've seen some good defensive plays. We've seen some not so hot defensive plays. It just feels...
There's a swing and a miss on an off speed. Alex Duraco bounces back after giving up the home run for strikeout number 2 on the game.
Bounces back, throwing the same pitch that just got hit out of the park. So I love the confidence. And the difference between the pitch that she just threw to Waycazer and the pitch that she threw to Leonard is it had movement. Throwing a changeup that just changes speeds, sometimes barrels run into it, like what we just saw from Mac Leonard. But
first pitch to Katie Dack is low for a ball.
When a changeup has downward movement, that's when you see the swing throughs. Good adjustment.
Katie Dack, a strikeout victim her last time. We mentioned it had been a minute since we'd seen Katie Dack in the Florida State lineup. The right-handed hitter hit a 3-run homer off Duraco in Norman, and she pops this one into left field. Riley Boone calls off Jada Coleman, makes the catch, and Alex Duraco gets out of a rough fourth. Hey Sanchez, I'm Chris Plank. This is Sydney Sanders digging in against Kat Sandercock. First pitch in the top of the 5th inning. Sandercock has been fantastic for Florida State. That first pitch is inside for ball 1. Sanders walked to lead off the 3rd. The best inning the Sooners have had so far when they loaded the bases with nobody out and came away with a goose egg, DJ.
Yeah, and you could just sort of feel the momentum shift to Florida State a little bit. But you want to see the energy coming from the Sooners. But Sydney Sanders had a really good at-bat off of Sandercock, drawing the walk.
The 1-0 misses low, ball 2.
She's in a good position here again. And I'm going to continue to say it. I want to see her unload on a hitter's count pitch. 2-0, if it's there, unload, attack. If not, take it and walk again. We're good with that too.
2 balls and no strikes. Good point. Take it if it's not out of the zone, but if it's there,
let's go.
Let's rip. The 2-0 pitch is swung and driven deep to right field. Sydney Sanders knocks it up with a 2-run homer over the right field wall. Sanders got all of that one. Goes opposite field. And Marita Hines North comes to life as Sooner Nation gets excited because Sid Sanders has brought them to their feet, and we're tied at 1. Let's go. This crowd needed something.
Yes. And we have watched Sydney Sanders take the 2-0 a lot this week, and she said no more. And the best part about it is it was oppo and just seeing a pitch and driving it. As we're sitting here talking about 2-0 attack, that's how you answer, Sydney Sanders. We're going to see Jordy Ball.
Here's Grace Lyons. I think you're right. First pitch to G3 is a little bit up, ball 1. Grace singled her last time up on a ball that any normal day probably would have been a double. And they're delivering the home run ball to Sydney Sanders' parents. They found him. Always a cool moment. Here's the 1-0 pitch to G3. She swings and fouls it straight back. For Sid Sanders, that home run it's her first of the Women's College World Series. And it is also for Sid, is this right, her fourth of the postseason? How about that? 1 ball and 1 strike. Grace Lyons waits. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Grounded foul down the third baseline. I'm not going to lie, it kind of surprised me to see how many that Sid Sanders had been hitting so far in this postseason.
Sydney Sanders is just is kind of one of those players that just quietly goes about her business. And everything that she does, too, we talked about it a little bit defensively, it's just, I'm here, it's routine, this is what I do. And it's consistent, and same thing at the plate. And I'm with you, I didn't realize that was her 4th bomb. That's a big one, though.
And 9th total on the season. The 1-2 to Lyons is lifted pretty deep to left field. Mudge has a beat on it, leaps, but it's gone! It's gone! D3 left the yard. The Sooners go back-to-back, and they've taken the lead in the top of the 5th inning on a 2-run shot from the captain.
This team answers. This team answers. They do it better than anybody in the country. Storako gives up the bomb, and the Sooners match it with 2 after they had been pretty quiet offensively off of Sandercock.
Grace Lyons with her 3rd hit of the Women's College World Series. She came into tonight just 1 for 6 in this World Series. Now she's hot, just like we told you tends to happen when she's struggling. And Riley Boone will bat with the bases empty, nobody out, and the Sooners have taken a 2-1 lead. First pitch to Boone is laced towards center field, but Janai Kerr had a beat on it, and there's 1 away. That ball was smoked.
7-8-9. 7-8-9. They've done it all year.
By the way, with Jada Coleman coming to the plate, we got this note right before the game started, courtesy of my great friends over at ESPN, about the bottom part of that Oklahoma lineup. Coach Karen Johns helped us out. 2-1 Sooners. Here's the first pitch to Jada. Shows bunt, takes the ball. Jada's 0 for 2, but has reached base. The 8, 9, and 1 hitters for the Sooners are a combined, now at least in the case of Lions hitting in the 8th spot tonight, 18 of 36. With 10 runs scored, 11 runs scored, 7 runs batted in, 3 doubles, a triple, and now 3 home runs and 3 walks. That's not bad from the bottom part of your lineup. As Sandercock misses with a 1-0 pitch, it's 2 balls and no strikes.
This team offensively, I mean, you never get a break. And people have said it and said it and said it. We've said it a million times. But one massive difference between Florida State and OU is the fact that the bottom half of this lineup, it does not have any holes. And Florida State's, they do. And you can see it statistically. You can see it in game.
Little gamesmanship going on between Coleman and Sandercock. Jada digs back in. Boy, if we go back to back here, look out. Instead, that ball tips off the mitt of Edenfield and heads to the backstop. Ball 3. What did you say right before this inning? Who you thought was coming in? Jordy Ball.
Jordy Ball.
I think he might have been on to something. 2-1 Sooners win the top of the 5th inning. Back-to-back home runs from Sid Sanders and Grace Lyons. Oh, I guess they can't go back-to-back. Sorry. I forgot about Riley Boone's incredibly hard hit ball to center field. There was only a laser for a line out to center field. Here's the 3-0 pitch. That's strike 1, and Jada had tossed her bat and headed down to first base.
That's a strike.
Yeah, a little dramatics here. She points at herself, says, "My bad," has a smile on her face.
She knew it. But
that's a good pitch.
Appreciate the enthusiasm.
My bad, I wasn't trying to show you up. Don't call a strike on a pitch nowhere close to the zone, please. Here's the 3-1. Coleman swings and lifts one deep to right field at the wall. Oh, it's caught. Wade Kaiser crashed against the wall as she reached up. And Coleman's fired up as she heads back to the dugout, getting her teammates up. That's 2 away. I thought that ball was hit harder than Sanders' ball. And it comes up just short. Here's T.R.A. Jennings.
I say this all the time, but you want to know when a team has figured out a pitcher? It's when those outs look like Riley Boone and look like Jada Coleman. That's when you start to worry, because you know it is just a matter of time.
Here's the first pitch to T.R.A. A little bit low and in, ball 1.
I will say this. Sandercock is having to come back in the zone because she's working behind the count. That screwball's now missing low. The drop ball starting out of the zone and now finishing in the dirt. So these hitters are now able to zone pitches off and take them away, making Sandercock have to come to the plate, which she didn't have to do early in this game.
Jennings gets jammed, grounds it to second. Flaherty up with it, throws. Inning is over. Damage is done. Sooners have taken the lead as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. 1 home runs. And the Sooners just went back-to-back in the top of the 5th inning to take a 2-1 lead. With DJ Sanchez, I'm Chris Plank. 9-1 and 2 hitters for Florida State against Jordy Ball. What do you need to see? What have you seen from Jordy?
She just needs to keep on keeping on. She has been unbelievable in this Women's College World Series. She was so good last night against Florida State, mixing her pitches and working ahead. Go after the 9-hole here.
First pitch misses up to Muffley, who reached on a bunt her last time up, but was forced out at second on a ground ball to third that Alyssa Brito made a nice play on.
Jordy needs the beauty of being able to hold her until the 5th is she only goes through this lineup one time.
Yep. 1-0. A little bit in, 2 balls and no strikes. This is the 5th appearance in the 5th game of the Women's College World Series for Jordy Ball. She's 4-0, and in 21 2/3 of an inning, she has struck out 30, walked 3, and allowed 12 hits. Opponents hitting just 158 against her. Here comes the 2-0 pitch from Jordy Ball. Swing and a miss.
Such a good 2-0 pitch. And Muffley, she was swinging out of the hand. And that pitch wasn't a strike. But enough through the zone to get Muffley to bite. But you get the feeling that Muffley, 2-0, she was going, I'm taking a swing.
2 balls and a strike. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Jessica Bain passed along the note from ESPN that it was the 500th home run of the season for Oklahoma, 3rd straight season, and the only team to ever do that. A lot of firsts taking place here at the Women's College World Series, and understandably so. Two pitch bounced softly towards third, and it will trickle foul. Jordy Ball in the season, 22-1 with a .92 ERA. She's thrown 144 1/3 innings, 189 strikeouts to 37 walks. And this is fitting here on a 2-strike count. Florida State hasn't been able to get it done with 2 strikes on Jordy Ball. The pitch fouled back. In fact, during the regular season game that Florida State played against Jordy Ball, they were 0 for 9 with 2 strikes with 6 strikeouts. Last night with 2 strikes, Florida State hitters were 0 for 11 with 2 strikes with 10 strikeouts and 0 hits.
I love that stat. And I think that also shows Jordy Ball what type of pitches she's throwing in 2 strike counts. And it's been an issue at times, not necessarily for Jordy, but for the staff as a whole.
2-2, line foul down the first baseline.
Say this, Muffley's putting up a fight. Seeing a lot of pitches. Something kind of funky happened on that swing. She looked like she hurt her leg.
She's wearing a bulky right knee brace, and it almost looked as if she had started favoring that right knee, and in fact, she's still not good. She's going to take some time to stretch out. Travis Wilson is going to come down and check on her. Whatever she did, the junior out of Winter Springs, Florida, either wrenched something or stepped wrong. We're 2-1 Sooners in the bottom of the 5th inning. I haven't seen a replay of it yet here in the booth.
Until you said it, Plank, I hadn't even noticed the knee brace, so that makes a lot more sense to me now. But
she's battled a couple different knee injuries.
Which makes it even tough. She's a shortstop, and she's a very good defensive shortstop.
The 2-2 pitch to Muffley. Little looper back to Jordy Ball, makes the catch, and there's one away, and Muffley wasn't good even after that swing.
She looks hurt. You hate to see that.
She's tough. I'm sure she'll try to stay in this game, but it will turn the lineup over with 1 out for Kaylee Mudge, who is 1 for 2, but has also reached base both times. On top of the lineup for Florida State, they're 1 and 2 hitters. Mudge and Janai Kerr have each reached base, all 4 plate appearances. The bunt is popped up, hits in fair territory. Nice little backspin to roll foul. It would have been an easy out for Hansen if she could have found it right away, but she couldn't find it.
Yeah, she just couldn't see it, and not something we see often from Kenzie Hansen, but it happens, especially when there's a spin on it, and I think she thought at first that it was popped further out than it actually was, and then just lost it. But good heads-up play, just letting it roll foul and reading the spin.
No balls and a strike to Mudge. That pitch is perfect. Strike 2. Mudge last night went 0 for 3 against Jordy Ball. Ball a complete game 2 hitter with 10 strikeouts, 1 walk, 97 pitches. 2-1 Sooners, bottom of the 5th inning, 1 out. Here's the pitch from Jordy Ball, who rocks and fires, miss low. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Jordy is bringing out the drop ball, and she didn't use it much yesterday and hasn't used it a ton, but we're seeing her throw pitches and change the eyes down so much more than what we saw her do 24 hours ago.
A ball and 2 strikes. The pitch from Ball. Couldn't check her swing. Check with that umpire at third. Oh, he says she did. I thought she broke. Did not. And a pretty good umpiring crew here tonight. That's Mike Burwell, who is a terrible home plate umpire, but doing a nice job on the bases. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning. Here's the pitch from Jordy Ball. Now's foul. Do it again. We you and I went down. There's a senior rules expert that is here. And I know everyone loses their mind about crow hops. We did it with Kelly Barnhart. Everyone Barnwell, excuse me. Everyone does it. And she said, this source said that there might be a new rule coming in college softball for it next year.
And I am 100% on board for it.
2-2 just misses. Full count. I mean, just misses. The rules committee is getting together, and they're going to take it out of the game from the perspective of the fights online. You're going to be able to crow hop in college softball. But it's got to be voted on by the coaches, so we'll see. Also, they're working on a new rule for in or out of the box. That'll be fascinating. Here's the 3-2 pitch from Ball. That ball's popped up to center field. Jada Coleman's under, makes the catch. 2 away.
Florida State, they're seeing more pitches off of Jordy. I mean, she's having to battle for these outs, but she's doing such a great job of not giving in. And sometimes when you see hitters who are fouling pitches off, you give in a little bit and you miss pitches. And she is continuing to throw and hit spots.
Here we go. 2 away for Janai Kerr. Jordy, who has not given up a run out of the pen this season, takes our misses low, ball 1. Kerr, as we mentioned, has reached base both times. Now, they did credit her with a sacrifice bunt in that first inning, but she ended up reaching on an error. That was an E5. And then she singled in the 3rd. Here's the 1-ball, no-strike pitch from Jordy Ball. Line to right field, but Torres doesn't even have to barely move. Makes the catch, and the inning is over.
Obviously, we've seen two bombs, but Haley Lee lined out to left fielder Mudge back in the 3rd, and it was hit well.
She's 0 for 2 today with a strikeout and a flyout, and she checks her swing on the first pitch and takes strike 1 on a pitch that looked a little bit up.
I was watching in between innings, and JT Gasso had these OU hitters outside the dugout for an extended amount of time, and you get the feeling this it's late, 1-run lead, the job's not done, but you get the feeling that JT Gasso's in there saying, keep the pressure on. We've got to keep attacking.
Bouncer past the third baseman, deep in the hole from short. Muffley throws. Haley Lee beat it out. Haley Lee gets her first hit of the Women's College World Series. It's an infield single. And Muffley is hobbled as she made the play deep in the hole and just couldn't get as much on it as she wanted. Or you could just say Haley Lee is that fast. Patty Gasso is going to talk to everyone here. That is the 6th hit of the game for the Sooners. The 2nd infield hit. 2 of those hits are solo home runs, and that's where we are, 2-1 Sooners. What do you think the message here is from Coach Gasso as JT has joined this meeting as well that includes, who all is in there? Kinsey Hansen, Alyssa Brito, and now Haley Lee's going to jog to first and ask for noise from the crowd. Well, Haley Lee's not going to first. Haley Lee's wanting noise from the crowd because we're going to get a pinch runner here. And look who it is. It's Jordy Ball. Jordy Ball has been called upon to pinch run here in the top of the 6th inning. Last night when Jordy Ball pinch ran, she scored from first on a Kinsey Hansen line drive that changed the game.
Gotta love it. And what's so nice about having a pitcher like Jordy Ball, who is an athlete and can do a lot of different things, when she's tied to that DP, it doesn't even cost you a sub. She just flexes up and all of a sudden slides into that slot. So it doesn't even go down as a sub necessarily in the scorebook. But I feel like the message is, this is an important run. This is such a huge run. Late in this game, we may see some short game. We may see some runners moving.
Ground ball fouled on the third baseline. Runners moving, you say. Well, Florida State, as effective as they've been in stealing bases, they've been ineffective at throwing out base runners in their previous 10 postseason games. 6 for 6. Stolen base opportunities for base runners this season. They've only thrown out 3 runners, and Sophia Nugent has moved into the on-deck circle.
Into Kinsey Hansen's slot.
Interesting. No balls and a strike. Here's the pitch to Brito. Sandercock rocks and fires. Lined into center field, falling fast. It's down. It's down for a hit right in front of Janai Kerr. First and second. And here's Sophia Nugent in for Kinsey Hansen. And you bring up a great point, DJ. Maybe this is a situation where you're going to go with a little bit more of an accomplished bunter, potentially?
Maybe. I'm up here pantomiming bunt, right? Like as this is unfolding.
It's a shock to see someone pinch hitting for Kinsey Hansen with as hot as she's been. She's 0 for 2 tonight with a pop out to the pitcher and a ground out to short.
There's a plan here, and I think Nugent being in this situation. Not that Nugent can't hit a ball in the gap, right? She's so capable, but I feel like this is such a big spot here. Nobody out. The game is tight. Maybe a position here for Nugent to lay something down.
Ball at second. Brito at first. Torres on deck. Sophia Nugent, a .274 hitter on the season. 7 home runs, and she takes strike 1 on the inside corner. And this must be a matchup that they like. That's got to be something there.
Matchup, or, it doesn't necessarily always have to be a bunt. When I say short game, putting something on the ground, a chop.
Great
something
point.
To the right side. So I say that word short game a ton. I don't always mean a bunt, but so many different things here for Nugent to do to move runners.
She is bunting, and it's a beauty. It's an absolute beautiful sacrifice bunt. They'll throw to first to get her. Nugent moves, Brito to second, and ball to third. And here comes Alina Torres.
That is knowing your players, and nothing on the stat line for Nugent. That is one of the biggest plays of this game. Executing the bunt and having what would be the 4th run of the game in scoring position right here with only 1 out.
Here's Alina Torres, second and third. Florida State has to bring the infield in here. Torres has been really good in these spots. She's 4 for 9 in the Women's College World Series with a run scored. Infield in for Florida State. 2-1 Sooner lead. First pitch, low and in, ball 1. Sid Sanders, Jocelyn Erickson. Oh, this is in for Erickson. I apologize. My scorebook fooled me. Sid Sanders is waiting on deck. I got this fancy scorebook, and I don't know how to use it. 1 ball and no strikes with Sanders on deck. Torres, .345 hitter on the season. Chance to blow this game open. There's a strike. All right. You got a ball and a strike.
Play the game, Alina Torres. Something you can handle. With 1 out, Jordy can move a little bit. Anything to the outfield that is at least medium depth is going to score Jordy ball. Play the game. Get something that you can handle to get the job done.
1 ball, 1 strike pitch to Torres. Here it comes. She swings and bounces it towards short. Muffley fields it, tries to tag Brito, does. The run scores, and Torres is safe at first. It's 3-1 Sooners.
Every single time the Sooners have runners on second and third, they run that same play. Everyone takes off, and my immediate reaction was, Alyssa Brito, what are you doing? She was doing exactly what she's been coached to do by Coach Gasso. So many times you see those runners try to get in rundowns, but it was in the 5-6 hole, and Jordy Ball was able to score easily.
I don't know if Muffley ever tagged Brito, but they got her getting out of the baseline, so we're going to get another pinch runner here. And with 2 outs in the 6th, here's Avery Hodge to pinch run and Sid Sanders at the plate.
I will say, yes, that second and third play, we see this Sooner team run it all the time. One thing about that I think Brito could have potentially played a little differently, when she saw that it was in the 5-6 hole and it wasn't hit hard, she could have gotten in a rundown or just did something to try not to run into that out. So a little bit of a tough play there. I understand it simply because I've sat through those practices.
First pitch to Sid Sanders is up high.
I didn't sit through any practices, but I've been in those practices.
Sanders homered here her last time up. It's 3-1 Sooners in the top of the 6th inning with 2 outs. And now Avery Hodge at first. Pinch running for Alina Torres. If you could have gotten a situation where Brito could have gotten a bit of a rundown, maybe could have Hodge at second now.
Yes.
There's a strike.
I mean, the goal of all of that is to not lose your runner in scoring position. So a bit of a mistake there by Brito. Again, I understand the concept and what she's trying to do, but in a game this tight, a runner in scoring position right now would be nice, especially with Sydney Sanders and the way that she's seeing the ball.
Florida State has put Bethany Keene in at first base now. So Leonard is out of the game with Keene at first. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Line to left field, but right at Mudge, who makes the catch, jogging in a couple of steps, and that'll do it for the Sooners, and was standing up trying to get the crowd to make sure they chose his song. It was cool. Toby Keith's been an obvious long-time supporter of Oklahoma Sooner athletics, and in fact, we thought he was going to be up here in the booth with us last night, but they took care of him, so TK didn't have to deal with us. Good to see Toby Keith. All right, to the bottom of the sixth we go. 3-1 Sooners. First pitch swinging, popped up. Behind home plate. Is there room for Kinsey Hansen? There is. There is. She makes the catch. And down goes Kaylee Harding in an incredibly frustrating weekend for Kaylee Harding so far, our midweek, wherever we are in the week. She got thrown out trying to stretch a single to a double on a ball that went to the wall by Jada Coleman. And then she had Jada Coleman climb over the wall and take a home run from her in the bottom of the third inning. She is 0 for 3. The Sooners are 4 outs away.
Jordy Ball's working quick, and you mentioned it, Blank, about Harding having a little a tough week, and Jada Coleman's been a lot of it, but
Michaela Edenfield takes the first pitch low, ball 1.
I think the coach and the competitor in me has got to say it. Jada Coleman steals that and robs that home run. Softball gods might be a little nicer if you'd slid into second last time. So
she just didn't even, she realized she was toast.
There's that.
3-1 Sooners. Edenfield is 0 for 2. The pitch from Ball is grounded towards third. Nice play by Brito. Gloves throws 2 away.
Working efficiently and quickly. And at this point, I've talked so much about energy in this game. Sooners have all of it right now. And Florida State looks a little bit defeated. But we're starting to see these Sooners come to life, not just with the sticks, but defensively as well. Bouncing around. And Jordy Ball is making quick work of these hitters.
2 away for Devin Flaherty. Here's the first pitch from Jordy Ball. Ooh, just missed, a little bit low. Ball 1. If the Sooners can hang on here, we'll have a celebration of history in college softball. The last team to go back-to-back-to-back was UCLA, 88, 89, and 1990. There is some significance about 1990 as well. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Line foul down the third base line. That was the first year the Women's College World Series was held here in Oklahoma City. UCLA won it. In fact, credit to Channel 4. I think Dylan Buckingham put the tweet out that had the news coverage of it when it was here, and it was wild to watch a game from 1990 and the highlights of it and how different this game and this sport is. Well done, guys, over at Channel 4 with that. Here's the 1-1, fouled back. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ooh, look out. That popped off the net. There was an older man that caught it and turned right away and gave it to a little boy that's just down below us. That's awesome. Well done, sir. Well done.
And we're not there yet. You know, Blank, we're talking about that back-to-back-to-back. I will say this, though. The fact that record has been held as long as it has is amazing. 30-plus years.
1-2 fouled back as well. Yeah. UCLA won their 3 titles in a row in 88, 89, and 90. The first 2 years of the NCAA Women's College World Series, it was in Sunnyvale, California. It went to Omaha for 6 years. And now it's found a home here in Oklahoma City. Swing and a miss. Inning over. Grace Lyons will lead things off. She homered and is 2 for 2 on the day. First pitch from Sandercock is in for a strike. With DJ Sanchez I'm Chris Plank. DJ's going to, the key word here is try to get down to the field of the post game. Try. And we're going to try to get some interviews with players. We'll see how it works. No balls and a strike. But we still have a ways to go here. The pitch to Lyons is bounced foul.
Still a bit to go. As you're watching this game unfold, I will say, I just get the feeling that the Sooners are in complete control. Jordy ball in the circle. Last inning wasn't even close for Florida State offensively. They have shown that they've got a beat on Sandercock and back-to-back runs in the 5th and 6th.
No balls and 2 strikes. This one's bounced to third. Nice play by Harding. Man, she's got a rocket. Throws, and there's one away.
Harding has a hose.
Maybe there was also some frustration in that, too, from Harding. Had a rough weekend. I keep saying weekend. It feels like this should be a Saturday night. Has had a rough 2 days against Oklahoma. She had a rough day in the field in the national semifinals. She had a ball that she usually makes a play on that was ruled an error, and then she had one go right under her glove. She had a couple tough fielding moments over there at third. Here's Riley Boone. Shows that bunt and fouls it back. Riley Boone is 1 for 2. So Leah O'Brien Amico is in the Westwood One broadcast booth right next to us. And she has the all-time record for the best batting average in the Women's College World Series. No one in college softball has had a better batting average in the Women's College World Series than Leah Amico. Tonight, Riley Boone had a chance to match her.
Ooh. What is it? What's the number?
Leah hit 564 in the Women's College World Series. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Bounce to the right side. Easy play. Taking it first, and there's 2 away. That's the Florida State first baseman, Bethany Keene. You going relatively quickly here in the 7th. We'll see if maybe Jada Coleman tries to slow it down a bit, and absolutely she does. Here is the note from our buddy Ryan Radke and Larry Costigan and all the great people over here at Westwood One. Now, obviously, it goes by the wayside with Boone 1 for 3 tonight. But with her 3 at-bats last night, she had qualified for the Women's College World Series career batting average record. She was hitting .533, second all-time to Leah Amico in the Women's College World Series. If Boone would have gone 3 for 3 tonight, she would have moved past Leah to first place. She went 1 for 1, and they started bringing it up. But
oh, man.
I don't think anyone's going to catch Leah O'Brien on that front.
She was a stud.
But I think we saw someone in Riley Boone earn a spot on the Women's College World Series team. Oh, my ballot was due at the end of the 5th inning. We were kind of busy. Sorry. That's when the Sooners took control of this game. First pitch to Jada Coleman is up high for ball 1. Oklahoma fell behind 1-0 in the bottom of the 4th inning on a solo home run from Mac Leonard. OU then responded with back-to-back home runs to start the 5th from Sydney Sanders and Grace Lyons. Insurance run in the 6th. It's 3-1 Sooners. Here's the 1-0 to Coleman. That caught the outer edge. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jada on the night is 0 for 3, but did reach in the 3rd inning on a fielder's choice. They've started the wave here in Oklahoma City. That means everyone's getting a little bit bored. Or they realize they're running out of time in this game.
I feel like we haven't seen the wave all week, so I'm happy to see it.
And it's strong. Well done.
Yes.
1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch to the Sooner center fielder. A little bit up and away, 2-1. I know someone very happy right now.
About the wave?
That would be Gwyneth Violet Plank, sitting in section 115 tonight. My kids usually couldn't care less about the game, but everything around it, there she goes.
There you go. Coming back around.
Are we supposed to do this too? Or no?
We'll do it anyway.
There you go. Jada very deliberate in the batter's box here. Finally digs in. 2 balls and a strike. Sandercock stares in, brings it home. Going in, ball 3.
You can really feel Jada kind of trying to slow the tempo down a little bit and not make this inning so easy for Sandercock. And there's also also a little bit of me, too, as it was 2 quick outs from Lyons and Boone going, they're just ready to get out there and get these 3 outs and move and say, let's go. But glad to see Jada understanding the game and making Sandercock and Florida State stand out there a little bit, try to extend the inning with 2 outs.
Here's the 3-1 pitch to Coleman. Strike 2, and that is the second time Jada has started to jog down to first base on what she thought was ball 4. Nothing Jada Coleman will do at the plate tonight will top one of the greatest catches we've ever seen at the Women's College World Series.
It changed the entire landscape of this game. Without a doubt, changed everything about this game.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Jennings waits on deck. Crowd roars. The wave has died down. The full count pitch to the Sooner center fielder. Fouled straight back. I'm sure that there are some emotions for Kat Sandercock, too, right now. Realizing that she is in the closing moments of her collegiate career, potentially, if this team doesn't rally in the 7th inning. And to her credit, she's done her part. She's given up 8 hits tonight. It took a back-to-back home run job to take the lead for the Sooners. But there's really not much more you can say. She's been really good. The Sooners, to this point, have just been better.
And that's what you expect. That's what you expect on this stage. Best against the best.
3-2 is swung on and popped up to shallow center field. Muffley races out, makes the catch, ends the inning. The Sooners are 3 outs away. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Oklahoma 3, Florida State 1. Buckle up, Sooner Nation. We're heading to the bottom of the 7th. This is Sooner softball from Learfield. Listen to this crowd. A Boomer Sooner chant that resonates from all corners of USA Softball Hall of Fame Stadium and all across the Sooner Nation. Here we go. 3-1, Oklahoma leads Florida State in the bottom of the 7th inning. And Mac Leonard, who is responsible for the only Florida State run, will lead off. It's 3-1, and she homered to give Florida State the lead in the 4th. First pitch is low for ball 1.
Homered and didn't even finish her swing. It was wild, but doesn't matter at this point. I will say this. If this place right now doesn't give you chills, it's amazing what this fan base is doing right here.
There's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. I can't stop laughing at watching Kaylani Ricketts and Destiny Martinez trying to hold up signs, and they put a chain that blocks their ability to run through one section. Here's the 1-1. Fouled off.
Another 2-strike count. I mean, she's been in, not just tonight. We've seen Jordy work ahead in counts all week. That's part of the reason she's been so successful. And just throwing such good pitches that are working and looking like strikes.
1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch bounced foul. Three runs on 8 hits for the Sooners. Things were looking bleak after stranding the bases loaded with nobody out in the 3rd inning. And then Florida State responded with a home run to take the lead in the 4th. But OU responded with back-to-back homers in the 5th. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Ball. Fouled back, good cut by Leonard. As much of a struggle as it's been for Mac Leonard in the postseason, she's had some good cuts here tonight.
She has, and she's not getting cheated in these hacks off Jordy Ball. I mean, she's taking swings. I expect that's what we're going to see from Florida State here in the 7th. And they're just going to take hacks and try to do anything they can to extend.
The 1-2 swing and a miss. 1 away. We owe you a station ID. Let's take it quickly here. This is Sooner softball from Learfield.
KRXO-FM and KRXO HD Oklahoma City, a product of Tyler Media, your flagship station for Oklahoma Sooner Sports. 107.7, The Franchise.
Here's Hallie Waycazer. Waycazer on the night is 0 for 2 with a flyout and a strikeout. The pitch, right on the inside corner, strike one.
Jordy Ball is just going toe-to-toe, throwing strikes and just saying, here it is, hit it. You hit it, you can rename it. I think that's what she's doing out there right now.
The 0-1. Bounce towards third. Brito makes the play, throws, but they're going to say foul ball. Foul ball, just barely.
Brito's fired up.
Everyone around USA Softball Hall of Fame Stadium is standing. What a scene. What a scene for this sport. The 0-2 pitch. Bounce towards short. Lyons backs up on it. Throws. High. Sanders pulls it down. Tagged her. 2 away.
Sydney Sanders. And you hear Coach talk about it all the time. As impressive as she is with the stick, she is so consistent at first base and just making that look easy. No panic. Just smooth.
Little high five from Sid Sanders to T.R.A. Jennings.
What is Riley Moon doing?
She's standing where typically a shortstop would stand, and she's dancing with Jada Coleman. And here comes Katie Dack. This place, man, it's electric. I wish every single one of you could be here right now. This is unbelievable. First pitch, Dack, swing and a miss. Swing and a miss, strike one. The Sooners are 2 strikes away. No balls and a strike. Jordy rocks and fires. Swing and a miss. Strike 2.
With the performance that Jordy Ball has had in this Women's College World Series, there would be few things sweeter than a strikeout to seal the deal right here.
No balls and 2 strikes. The pitch from Ball. Ooh, checked her swing on a ball up. I'm watching the joy in Sid Sanders over at first. She's ready to explode. Avery Hodge probably doesn't even realize how big this moment is for a true freshman.
I love watching because you can see this defense locked in, but you can also see them moving all over the place. Just the energy.
Here's the 1-2 pitch from Jordy Ball. Another pitch up high. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Going for the K. Trying to get Dack to chase upstairs. You know, I think everybody in Oklahoma City would love to see a strikeout to finish this Women's College World Series up.
2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch. Swing and a miss. The Oklahoma Sooners are national champions. They mob Jordy Ball outside the circle. Dog pile Sooners. Dynasty mode activated. Championship number 7 secured. Unapologetic, undisputed, and in the end, undeniable. It's a dynasty in the dirt. And it's located in Norman, Oklahoma. The Sooners have gone back to back to back. And for the 7th time in program history, Oklahoma is national champions. 3-1, the Sooners have beaten Florida State, and the party is on in USA Softball Hall of Fame Stadium.
to say, but it's hard to say a lot of it right now because you almost just want to sit back and listen to this stadium go nuts.
They're bringing out the trophies.
Congratulations to the Florida State Seminoles.
What a cool moment. Maybe one of the greatest teams we've ever seen. Maybe one of the greatest groups ever assembled. They will wrap up the 2023 Women's College World Series as national champs. They've won 6 straight Women's College World Series finals games. And, oh, by the way, a 53-game winning streak, the longest in the history of college softball, will carry over, DJ, to 2024.
Dynasty, you already said it, Plank. And we talk about softball, we talk about OU softball teams, other softball programs. I don't care what sport you're talking about. This is one of the most dominant teams in all of sports to ever play the game or any game. It's unbelievable, and we are witnessing something that so few people ever get to see.
It's unreal, man. It is unreal. The celebration is on. All right, DJ, good luck.
Yeah.
DJ Sanchez is going to head down the field. Before you do, let's talk about 2 things from tonight. The perseverance of this Oklahoma Sooner offense, the plan Patty and JT Gasso had in place. They never tapped out. They never got frustrated. They stayed the course.
They stayed the course, and they never stopped. And you just saw a team that never pressed. We saw a team that never looked like they were concerned or played tight or timid. They just continued to trust in themselves, trust in each other, trust in the process. And I think what makes this even more amazing is everything that has surrounded this team. This isn't just a team that's winning a national championship is hard enough, let alone the win streak. Back to back to back. The amazing players that are on this team. I mean, there's just so much outside pressure and factors that play into this that makes it even more special.
All right, go talk to Coach. That's DJ Sanchez. We'll have the ceremony naming the All-Women's College World Series team.